Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here with my guy, Chris Ruffolo, as we continue to cook up this WNBA action. Welcome to the WNBA Layup session, ladies and gentlemen. We got a good card tonight, or today. We got 5 games. We're just here to let you guys know our thoughts, our opinions, and how we see today's action shaping out. We appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video, and all we ask is that you smash that like button for us. You subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As I always say, man, if you're rocking with us, rock with us. We're active on Instagram and Twitter at Pickdawgz and individually, and Twitter as well. Link for all of those in the description below. And of course, we have premium plays over at the site. But as we do each and every day, man, we cook up the WNBA action, man, and we're going to let you guys know our thoughts on all 5. Chris, franchise, what's happening? How you doing today, my man?
I'm doing all right, Jay. I was doing a little bit of digging, and it looks like at least once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks for the next little bit, we're going to have one of these big cards. And especially as we're starting to head towards, we will be heading towards the All-Star break in about a month or so. And, still got to, take advantage of these days as they come. We're in the dog days of summer, so sometimes the options to make money can be few and far between, but I think today's a good card. Today's a good chance to make some money, so I'm ready to break it down. How you doing?
I'm ready to break it down as well. I've dropped 2 WNBA plays in a row, so I don't like that. So I'm looking for a bounce back today. Looking for a bounce back, and it's a perfect opportunity to do exactly that. Like I said, with a 5-game card. So let's do that, my man. Let's do that. Let's make some money today. Betting hoops. First game on the board. We got my hometown team, the Wings. They're out on the road facing the Washington Mystics. Mystics 4.5-point home favorites. Total 166. How you feeling in the first game of the day?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Mystics here. I liked it a lot better when it was around 2.5, 3, 4.5. I don't love it as much, but it's where I'm leaning here. I just think that, even though the Wings have been able to pick up back-to-back wins, and I'm not taking that away from them, it's definitely a sign that I think this team is headed in the right direction. I still have my concerns with this team defensively. The Mystics have been very inconsistent. They sometimes show up, sometimes they get absolutely blitzed. But the one thing I've noticed with the Mystics is that they're usually able to take care of teams that are beneath them. They beat up on the teams that have the losing records, and I think that that's what they do here. I think that this is one of those games that, the Wings are still a solid team. Like I said, there's going to be opportunities that we get value with them at points throughout the season. I think this is just a 6-7 point win for the Mystics. So I'm going to lean towards laying the points with Washington here.
The Wings got their wings up under them, and I think they have a legitimate chance to win this game outright. I think the Mystics are overrated and overvalued. I don't think they're all that good. And I think the Wings are just going to continue to get better as the season progresses. Off back-to-back wins, their first double win, their first back-to-back wins this season, I think they could go for 3 in a row. So I think 4.5 in my back pocket is where I want to be. And I'm also attacking that plus 155 and growing. I see it slightly growing. So I'm on my hometown team. Y'all can call me a home run like y'all usually love to. But I really like the spot for the Wings tonight. And I think Paige and Enrique and company do enough to not only cover, but like I said, possibly win this game outright. So that's where I'm at here in our first game of the day. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up, we head over to Las Vegas, where the Aces and the Fever are battling it out. Really good game. We got the Fever 1.5-point road favorites. Total 171.5 here in this one. Whew. Fever, of course, come into this one off a loss. Head-scratching loss to many. We're rolling, but the Valkyries, they've shown to be a sneaky team in certain spots, in certain situations, and they really played great defense on the Indiana Fever the last time they matched up, and they beat the Fever in that game. I think that kind of woke the Fever up. The Fever were on a high, getting Caitlin back, beating the Liberty, blowing out the Sun. They were riding a high. Kind of got punched in the mouth, woke up in that last game, and I think today they get back into gear. They are better than the Aces right now currently. I'm just taking the better team. I'm taking the Fever here. They're favored on the road in this game for good reason. This line maybe drift towards more pick 'em as we get closer to game time, and I get why. Aces at a pick 'em at home or getting a bucket in your back pocket with the aces at home over the years has been a really good bet, but this hasn't been the aces of old. And I've been telling y'all all season how much I really like this Fever team, especially when healthy. So, one Indiana. No need to overcomplicate. I think Caitlin has a good showing, and the Fever pulled off a nice road win here. How you feel?
Yeah, I was going back and forth on this one, and I'll ask you this. Just sort of, we sometimes have these conversations big game, but you were the NBA guru this season. Which team? And you're gonna kind of get a vibe when I ask you this. If I had to tell you there's a team that is year after year is perennially a strong team, a team that you have as a title favorite that just for whatever reason 1 year, maybe even this season, underdelivered, who would that be? The Phoenix Suns, maybe the Lakers, something along those lines, maybe.
Yeah,
I think that's what the Las Vegas Aces are this season. A team that has kept the majority of the parts from some of the best teams in the WNBA over the last few seasons. Yeah, they lost Kelsey Plum, but so you have Asia Wilson there. You still have Jackie Young. You still have Chelsea Gray. And they're 3-3 at home this season, 1-5 against the spread. They've underwhelmed at the best of times. And you have, like you mentioned, a Fever team that has stepped up to the plate against the better teams they've played this season. They handed the Liberty their first loss. They've been able to, battle some good teams. And I think, like you said, I think they're favored on the road for a reason here. I'm just going to take them on the money line rather than lay the 1.5, just, for the sake of, avoiding any sort of hijinks if this does become a close game. But I'm just going to take the Fever in this one. Like you said, taking the better team in better form.
fair enough. We'll keep it rolling. Next game up, we head over to Atlanta, where the Dream are sizable home favorites over the Chicago Sky. They're laying 15.5 and growing. Total 159.5. Does the Sky compete at all, or do the Dream take them behind the woodshed?
I want to say the Dream take them behind the shed, especially with the Sky, who are a team that loses by double digits on the regular, on a back-to-back. It's not a great spot, but 15.5 is a ton for a Dream team that just barely got by the Mystics last time out. So rather than mess around on an overinflated spread here, that wouldn't surprise me if the Dream won by 20, considering they already beat the Sky by 18 points not that long ago. I'm going to go with the over here. I think that, the Sky still have some defensive issues that need to be addressed. They are the worst 3-point defense in the WNBA, and this is a Dream team that still shoot the threes at a very, very high rate. So I expect Atlanta to hit some. But Chicago's been able to put up some points as well. And, the only thing that stopped this game from going over last time these two teams met was the hook. We were half a point shy going over the total. So I'm going to go with the over here, whether it's a blowout or a close game. I think we're getting some points in this one.
Fair. Not one of my favorite games on the card tonight, but I think the Dream take them behind the shed. It's a terrible spot for Chicago. Second game in 2 nights, on the back end of a back-to-back with travel. They got blitzed last night by the Phoenix Mercury. I thought it was a good spot for them last night against the Mercury. I thought they would compete somewhat at home, at the crib. No. Now they had to get on a plane and go play a Dream team who is playing really well right now. Winners of 4 of their last 5. With their only loss in that span being a 5-point loss to who I think is the best team in the league, the New York Liberty, on the road. So, like Chris said, the Dream already kicked the crap out of them earlier this season. The reason I don't love this game is y'all know my thoughts about the Dream. They're a feast or famine style team. They're either going to hit their shots and blow you out, or they're not going to hit them, and this game's going to be stupid close for no reason. The Sky have been really bad defensively all season, so I think it's more than likely the Dream take them behind the shed. So I'm leaning towards Atlanta. It's a big number to lay with a team like Atlanta, but I also believe the line's this big for good reason. Give me Atlanta. I'm going to lay the points here in this one. Keep it rolling, Chris. Next game up, we head over to Golden State with the Valkyrie. are 9.5-point home favorites over the Connecticut Sun. Total 154.5. Those Valkyrie, man. Those Valkyrie. They are head and shoulders better than the Sun. Winners of 4 of their last 5. This is a big boy number to lay, though. Or should I say a big girl number to lay. I understand why it's this big, and I'm going to lean towards the direction of the Valkyrie. I've just been consistent all season long telling you guys the Connecticut Sun are the worst team in the WNBA. They're the worst. And this Valkyrie team has just found ways to get it done. Missing players without missing players, not having chemistry, being, their first time in the league, first time doing everything, traveling, all that. It hasn't mattered. They prevailed. And I'm just line reading. This line is as big as it is for good reason. So I just don't want to buck the trend, not for the Sun, the worst team in the dub. So give me Golden State. I got a nice home court advantage. I like how they play at home. I think they show up, show out, kick the crap out of Connecticut tonight. How you feel?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Sun here, and I'm with you. I've been on that boat of the Sun being the worst team in the WNBA this season. We've also seen a lot of space, and not just the WNBA and the NBA as well. There are still times where bad teams cover, and this is the first time this season where we're seeing the Valkyries as favorites. And again, I'm with you. I understand why the line is where it is, but I also worry that people see that the Valkyrie, they beat the Fever, and then all of a sudden the line flips to where they're laying 9.5 against, like I said, the worst team in the dub. But the thing is, the Sun have still covered in 3 straight games, and they're catching a decent amount of points here. I'm just not eager to lay 9.5 with a Valkyrie team that we have yet to see in this role this season. Would it surprise me if they came out and just kicked the crap out of the Sun? Absolutely not. But to see the Sun, like I said, are starting to be a little bit more competitive. I think I just got to take a shot on the 9.5 points here.
There we go. From Chris, last and final game of the night. We got the New York Liberty. The defending champs out on the road facing the Seattle Storm. Mama, we got a good game here tonight. I'm sad that it's going up against the NBA Finals. Come on, the WNBA with this fucking scheduling. God damn. That's supposed to work hand in hand, man. So honestly, I will not be watching this game because I will be locked in, laser focused on Game 7, if you just want me to be completely honest. But I don't mean I ain't going to wager on it and be schoolbird watching, tuning in occasionally on the phone. Might flip the screen during timeout. We'll see.
There's halftime.
You feel me? Well, we got the Liberty favored in Seattle, 2.5-point road favorites, total 165. Good game. How you feeling, Chris? Close out the night.
Yeah, we're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. You have the Storm who, played their best basketball at home, a team that we rode at home against a Liberty team that we both consider to be the best team in the WNBA. And if they're not the best team by anybody's standards, they're probably 1A alongside the Minnesota Lynx. But for me, as much as I like the Storm at home, I think that I have to roll with the Liberty here. It's just Liberty off of a loss, usually a very good team to back in that role. God, it's escaping me who the best team in the NBA was off of a loss this season. I'm making a lot of comparisons to the NBA this season, but the Liberty off a loss has been money for the better part of the last couple seasons, and especially in the first half too. So I might take them first half and full game against the spread, or even if you want to take them on the money line, if that's sort of within your price range. But for me, it's Liberty in this one.
On the Storm.
Oh, and there's one other thing I forgot to mention. I just don't think the Storm are good enough to take advantage of the absence of Jonquel Jones. She's out for 4 to 6 weeks, and they're just not a good rebounding team. But that's just me.
I'm on the Storm.
Yep.
I'm on the Storm. It's just a different team, monster and animal at home, at the crib. And I don't like the current form of the Liberty right now. Do I think it'll mean much in the grand scheme of the season? No, I still think they're the best team in the league, but we kind of see this like we saw this in the NBA where the Celtics in certain spots in the season kind of just were going through the motions. And, they kind of got in certain spots in certain situations. Liberty have now lost 2 of their last 3 games, and honestly, their last 3 games I haven't really been impressed. Lost on the road to Indiana, came back home, narrowly escaped Atlanta. Then at home, the Mercury came in there and really beat them up. A lot of people would say, yeah, this is the wake-up spot for the Liberty, but I think this is one of their toughest tests of the entire season, on the road facing the Storm. And the Storm playing well. They've won 4 of their last 5. They're going to be turned up in there tonight. This is the beginning of a pretty long road trip for the Liberty. They're at the Storm tonight. Then Wednesday, they go to the Valkyrie. Then after that, they go to the Mercury. Then after that, they go to Atlanta. I don't know. I'm feeling the Storm tonight. I think it's going to be a Storm in Seattle. And I think the Storm pool is staying out outright money line. So that's probably where I would be. I don't want the 2.5. If I'm playing and I'm attacking the money line, attacking the outright value is Seattle. So I hate fading the Liberty. I really do. But in certain spots, certain situations where it makes sense, because they're the defending champs, sometimes they'd be slightly overrated, slightly overvalued. And that's kind of how I see them tonight. So last and final game of the night tonight for me, ladies and gentlemen, I am on the Seattle Storm, and that's going to conclude today's episode of the WNBA Layup Session, man. Money making Sunday. We appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this show, watch these episodes, and everything that we do here at Pick Dawgz. We just hit 250,000 subscribers yesterday, man. We appreciate y'all. Y'all are a huge piece of that. And we're just continuing to try to grow as a community, man, as a family. So thank you to you all. Thank you. We do have premium plays over at the site. For me today, huge day. I got, of course, an NBA play. You guys can check out the NBA Jam session. I have a WNBA play. You guys can scoop that play up for $19. And I have a play in Major League Baseball as well. So for sure, 3 plays for me, maybe a couple more for Major League Baseball, depending on how it shapes out. So just a really good day to make some money, man. Money making Sunday. Chris, what you got going on today over at Pickdawgz Premium?
Yeah, just to add on to that. Yeah, thank you to everybody who's helped us get to 250K. Without you guys, we would just be talking to ourselves. And I mean, I talk to myself enough to begin with, and it's probably nice to have somebody else listen for a change. But yeah, definitely wouldn't be where we are today without you guys. So appreciate you. But for me today, I got my $19 MLB pickoff play. Got that as part of my MLB 5-pack, and I do have a WNBA play on the board as well. But even though we're in the dog days of summer, we always talk about it. This is a great time to jump on a long-term pass. You can pair me up with Jay. We can make you some money that way. But whatever you choose to do, use the promo code PICK at checkout. Get 15% off your purchase. Let's make you some money.
Appreciate y'all more than y'all know, man. Money making Sunday. Let's make it a winning day. Let's kick the crap out of the books. See y'all soon. We out here. Peace.